Good day, class. I'm your teacher for today in PE. I am Sir John Mackay A. Flores, or you can call me Sir Mac. So before we start our lesson for today, may we have an activity first called Guess the Picture. So here's the instruction. I have pictures here that contains different images of the pieces of chess. So the students need to identify the correct name of each picture. So are you ready, class, for our activity for today? Yes. Okay, for our first picture. What is the name of this piece? You have 5 seconds to guess it. Correct. This is the king. Okay, next. What type of piece is this? You have 5 seconds to guess it. Correct. This is the queen. Next. What is this piece? You have 5 seconds to guess it. Correct. This is the pawn. Very good. And next. What type of piece is this? You have 5 seconds to guess it. Very good. This is the bishop. Next. What is this chess piece? You have 5 seconds to guess it. Excellent. This is the knight. Next. What is this piece of chess? You have 5 seconds to guess it. Very good. This is the chessboard. And next. What is this piece of chess? You have 5 seconds to guess it. You are correct. This is the chess clock. So based on our activity, what do you think is our topic for today? Yes, our topic for today is chess. So to know more about chess, here is an introduction about chess. Chess is one of the world's most popular games, played by millions of people worldwide. Chess is an abstract strategy that involves no hidden information and no use of dice or cards. So it is played on a chessboard with 64 squares arranged in an 8x8 grid. So about chess, it is a board game where two players compete with each other until one of them gets a checkmate and be the winner.
The attacking infantry advances steadily, their elephants already having broken the defensive line. The king tries to retreat, but enemy cavalry flanks him from the rear. Escape is impossible. But this isn't a real war, nor is it just a game. Over the roughly 1.5 millennia of its existence, chess has been known as a tool of military strategy, a metaphor for human affairs, and a benchmark of genius. While our earliest records of chess are in the 7th century, legend tells that the game's origins lie a century earlier, Supposedly, when the youngest prince of the Gupta Empire was killed in battle, his brother devised a way of representing the scene to their grieving mother. Set on the 8x8 Oshtapada board used for other popular pastimes, a new game emerged with two key features: different rules for moving different types of pieces and a single king piece whose fate determined the outcome. The game was originally known as Chaturanga, a Sanskrit word for four divisions, but with its spread to Sassanid Persia, it acquired its current name and terminology: chess, derived from Shah, meaning king, and checkmate from Shahmot, or the king is helpless. After the 7th century Islamic conquest of Persia, chess was introduced to the Arab world. Transcending its role as a tactical simulation, it eventually became a rich source of poetic imagery. Diplomats and courtiers used chess terms to describe political power. Ruling caliphs became avid players themselves, and historian al-Masudi considered the game a testament to human free will compared to games of chance. Medieval trade along the Silk Road carried the game to East and Southeast Asia, where many local variants developed. In China, chess pieces were placed at intersections of board squares rather than inside them, as in the native strategy game Go. The reign of Mongol leader Tamerlane saw an 11x10 board with safe squares called citadels, and in Japanese shogi, captured pieces could be used by the opposing player. But it was in Europe that chess began to take on its modern form. By 1000 AD, the game had become part of courtly education. Chess was used as an allegory for different social classes performing their proper roles, and the pieces were reinterpreted in their new context. At the same time, the church remained suspicious of games. Moralists cautioned against devoting too much time to them, with chess even being briefly banned in France. Yet the game proliferated, and the 15th century saw it cohering into the form we know today. The relatively weak piece of advisor was recast as a more powerful queen, perhaps inspired by the recent surge of strong female leaders. This change accelerated the game's pace, and as other rules were popularized, treatises analyzing common openings and endgames appeared. Chess theory was born. With the Enlightenment era, the game moved from royal courts to coffee houses. Chess was now seen as an expression of creativity, encouraging bold moves and dramatic plays. This romantic style reached its peak in the immortal game of 1851, where Adolf Ondersin managed a checkmate after sacrificing his queen and both rooks. But the emergence of formal competitive play in the late 19th century meant that strategic calculation would eventually trump dramatic flair. And with the rise of international competition, chess took on a new geopolitical importance. During the Cold War, the Soviet Union devoted great resources to cultivating chess talent, dominating the championships for the rest of the century. But the player who would truly upset Russian dominance was not a citizen of another country, but an IBM computer called Deep Blue. Chess-playing computers had been developed for decades, but Deep Blue's triumph over Garry Kasparov in 1997 was the first time a machine had defeated a sitting champion. Today, chess software is capable of consistently defeating the best human players. But just like the game they've mastered, these machines are products of human ingenuity, and perhaps that same ingenuity will guide us out of this apparent checkmate. Did you know that the treadmill was originally designed to be a torture device? Learn more about its dark and twisted past with this video.
Based on the video that you have watched, what was the first name of chess? You are correct. The first name of chess was Chaturanga. And where does the word checkmate came from or derived from? Correct. The word checkmate derived from the word sha, where it means it is helpless. Next. So we go on to the chess pieces. Chess pieces. Chess pieces are what you move on a chessboard when playing a game of chess. There are 6 different types of chess pieces. Each side starts with 16 pieces. There are 8 pawns, 2 bishops, 2 knights, 2 rooks, 1 queen, and 1 king. So, here are the chess pieces. The first one is the king. The king is the most important chess piece. Remember, the goal of a game of chess is to checkmate the king. When a game starts, each side has 1 king. The next one, the queen is the most powerful chess piece. When a game begins, each side starts with 1 queen. Next, another chess piece is the rook. Rook is considered a major piece, like the queen, and its worth is 5 points. It can move as many squares as it likes, left or right horizontally, or as many squares as it likes, up or down, vertically. So as long as it isn't blocked by other pieces. Another chess piece is the bishop. Bishop is considered a minor piece, like a knight, and its worth is 3 points. A bishop can move diagonally as many squares as it likes, as long as it is not blocked by its own pieces or an occupied square. Next is the knight. The knight is considered a minor piece, like a bishop, and is worth 3 points and it moves in an L shape. The knight can capture only what it lands on, not what it jumps over. Next, the pawn. Pawn is the least powerful piece and is worth 1 point. If it is a pawn's first move, it can move forward 1 or 2 squares. If a pawn has already moved, then it can move forward just 1 square at a time. It attacks or captures each square diagonally to the left or right. So here is the chessboard, and here is the here is how you place those chess pieces on a chessboard. So the chessboard is where the pieces will be placed, and it will be the area where the chess players will play the game. So let us discuss how to play chess. I have another video lecture here that will tell you or instruct you how to play chess.
Chess, how to play. The object of the game is to checkmate the other king. Checkmate happens when the king is in a position to be captured, it's in check, and cannot escape from the capture. At the beginning of the game, the chessboard is laid out so that each player is sitting across from the other and has the white or lighter colored square in the bottom right-hand side. The chess pieces are then arranged the same way each time. The second row is filled with pawns. The first row should be set up as following, going from left to right: rook, knight, bishop, king, queen, bishop, knight, rook. You've set it up correctly if your queen is on the same colored square as the color of the piece. The player with the white pieces always moves first. A turn consists of moving one piece one time. Players alternate turns until the end of the game. Spaces may not be shared by pieces. Pieces cannot move through or over any other piece. Opponent's pieces can be captured by correctly moving your piece to the square of the opponent's piece. When a piece is captured, it is eliminated and removed from the board. Each of the 6 different kinds of pieces has a unique way of moving. Pawns move one square forward, towards your opponent's side of the board, at a time, unless it is the first time it is moved during the game, in which case it may be moved up to 2 squares forward. Pawns can only capture pieces 1 square diagonal in front of them and cannot capture pieces directly in front of them, but instead are unable to move forward. If a pawn reaches the other side of the board, it can be changed into any other type of piece. This is called a promotion. Rooks can move any number of squares side to side or back and forth. Rooks cannot move diagonally. Rooks cannot jump pieces, but instead capture the first enemy piece they move into. Knights move in the shape of an L, moving 2 squares in one direction, except diagonal, and then 1 more square at a 90-degree angle. The knight jumps over any piece in the way, capturing any opponent piece in its final move position. Bishops can move any number of squares diagonally. They capture the first enemy piece they move into. The queen can move any number of spaces in any direction. The queen captures the first enemy piece she moves into. The king can move 1 square at a time in any direction. The king can never move himself into check. Whenever a move directly results in the opponent's king being threatened, meaning if an action is not taken, the next turn the king would be captured, the attacking player must say check. The opponent must then use their turn to protect the king by either moving the king out of check, moving a different piece to block the path of the attacker, or by capturing the piece that threatens the king. If a move directly results in the opponent's king being threatened, and there is no move to protect the king, the attacking player then declares checkmate. The game is over and he wins. A draw, or stalemate, occurs when the king is not in check and the player cannot legally move any of his pieces, or if there is any other situation where there is an impossibility of checkmate. There are a couple other types of unique moves. The first is called castling. On a player's turn, he may move his king 2 squares over to one side, and then move the rook from that side's corner to right next to the king on the opposite side. However, in order to castle, the following conditions must be met. It must be the king's very first move. It must be that rook's very first move. There cannot be any pieces in between the king and the rook, and the king may not be in check nor pass through check. The second is called en passant. If a pawn moves out 2 squares on its first move, and by doing so lands on the side of an opponent's pawn, effectively jumping past the other pawn's ability to capture it, that other pawn has the option of capturing the first pawn as it passes by, but must do so by the very next turn, otherwise it loses the opportunity. To capture it, the pawn must move diagonally to the square directly behind the other pawn. The first player to checkmate their opponent wins.
There you have it. You have watched a video clip where you will learn how to play chess. And for our now for our next activity, let us play an actual chess. Okay, here we go. Let us play with the computer. So I will choose white. Okay, I choose color white, so we are the first move. I move a pawn to e4. Next, the queen, and we check the king. He block it by his bishop, and we remove our bishop. We're blocked by the opponent's pawn. We got checked by the pawn. We'll move our knight to e3, h3, or no, g3. We will hit his bishop. We will move back the horse or the knight. We'll move the pawn. And we move the knight. Let's take back the bishop. Let's hit her pawn, the opponent's pawn. And the opponent took the castling. And now, let's move the pawn. The opponent check our queen. And we move our knight. Our king was is checked. So let's move it. Let's hit the pawn. The knight is checked. So let's hit the knight, the opponent's knight. Let's move the pawn. The rook ate our pawn. So let's hit it with our bishop. The knight took our pawn. And let's hit it with our king. That's it. No, 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 no. Let's check the queen. Oh, ayan na. Let's go there. Let's move the knight. And she moves her the opponent move its pawn. So let's move our queen. The queen check our king. So let's eat the rook. Oh, it's back our bishop and let's check the king. Oh, I think we almost lose our queen. Check the king. And let's eat her the opponent's queen. And we check the king. We check the king. The king ate our rook. Check the king. And now let's check the king. Okay, I guess I cannot show to you the checkmate for the interest of time. So let's now move on. So here are the questions. So you may uh you may take down notes the questions and you can send it to me through Messenger. The first question is, what are the illegal things to do in playing chess? What do castling mean? The third one, what is en passant? The fourth is, what are the different characters in chess? In what are the different pieces in chess? And five, what can you gain in playing chess? Okay, for your assignment, follow up. What are the importance of studying chess strategies? And another assignment is make a chessboard out of recycled materials and make its chess pieces through recycled materials. And for your advanced assignment, do an advanced reading in our indoor recreational activities, which is the dominoes. Okay, that's all for today, class. Thank you for listening and thank you for attending my class. Goodbye.